And with us now is new Towson baseball coach, Liam Bowen. I'm used to saying UMBC coach, Liam Bowen. Liam, how we
Well,
doing?
good. Thank you for having me. I was used to it too for 15 years and grateful for all of them, but excited about this new challenge and change and appreciate you guys having me on.
And I will say this, Griffin Bass, my co-host today, a Towson alum.
Proud Towson alum. Proud Towson
Love
alum.
it.
Lead us to the
Go
promised land,
Tigers.
coach. Yeah, go Tigers.
We're
So,
working on it.
so simple question first: why Towson?
A few different reasons. Certainly, the experience at UMBC was awesome. It met so many wonderful people. Was treated great up and down by the staff, the administration. Had a bunch of really good players that I got a chance to coach and got to stay in touch with and maintain those relationships as alums. So that was all really special. But I think it was time for a new challenge for me personally after 15 years. So I didn't get stale. Um, our coaching staff maybe wanted a little bit of a new challenge, but also the opportunity to stay together and not move. We're all guys with families that we care about and don't want to uproot. So when the Towson became a possibility, um, it was worth investigating for those reasons. And then as I got more into the interview process with Steve Eigenbrot, the AD, and the other administrators here, it was apparent that there was a real ceiling here and something that we could really sink our teeth into. So we're excited about some of the resources that are here and some of the things that are available to us. Now we just got to make the most of them.
Coach, before you got to UMBC, I think you have a little bit of a unique background. A lot of smaller schools, and so
Hmm.
were able to see a lot of different kind of levels of college baseball. How did that kind of how did that kind of help you as you got to the D1 level with UMBC?
Good question, and I'm really grateful, and I try and do this for our assistants. When I was an assistant, I got a lot of responsibility even at a young age, and that's usually only possible at those smaller schools, right, where the staffs are smaller and the salaries are smaller. Honestly, guys are getting their foot in the door, and I was one of those guys, 15, 20 years ago. So really grateful to my bosses, Lou Jenkins at St. Mary's College, and then Jeff Sixai at Lincoln Memorial University at those lower divisions, who really gave me free reign with the pitchers. And I got to make some mistakes, right? Learn from some of those and got to see what worked for me and what, the ways that I thought I could be effective with players. And just being able to build on that over the years. I think I got a really good base of kind of skill and coaching and started to feel really comfortable developing guys. And then, as I got opportunities at bigger schools, and I was able to use some of those skills. I felt pretty ready for them. So, yeah, grateful for my time at those smaller places for sure.
So then, what did you learn in the America East, and how is America East baseball different from the CAA?
Good question. So, the America East learned a ton. I mean, over 15 years at UMBC, trying to compete in a league with a bunch of good programs. We were going toe to toe every year with Binghamton and Stony Brook when they were on our league. They're in the CAA now, and so we're reunited with them as a coaching staff. Brian has a really good program. Maine and those getting to go against those guys really shapes you. Because when I took over, or I shouldn't say took over, when I took over the pitching staff at UMBC, when I became the pitching coach. The first year I was there, Stony Brook went to the College World Series, and we were a rebuilding program. We were struggling. So I found out pretty quickly, like you have to get what you want in college baseball, you have to take it from somebody and you have to benchmark yourself against those competitors. So the benchmark in the America East at that time was an Omaha team. So that was a pretty high bar. And I'm proud to say, we were able to chase them down and eventually win an America East championship and, do some good things in that conference. Here, we're hard at work watching the film, trying to understand the league a little bit better. We have some familiarity with it, with the geography, played some of these opponents over the years, but mostly just trying to figure out where we can gain advantages over the rest of the CA, because our goals, like everybody else, we're trying to move up the standings and you have to take that from people. And, we're hard at work learning our team, but also learning our opponents in that way. So, um, I might get back to you on the differences. We'll know in a little bit. I think both are really good mid-major leagues, so we're I think there'll be some continuity there, but we're looking forward to tangling with some of these guys.
Can't really think of a kind of a tougher situation, I guess, to step into. As obviously you're on the staff, so that helps. But going to full-time head coach, obviously amid the COVID season, and then obviously in the coming years is the rise of the transfer portal. How has it been kind of navigating this new era of college athletics and this transfer portal, and how have you tackled that kind of thing at UMBC, and how are you gonna will your approach be any different at Towson?
Uh, you know, I think in coaching you're always problem solving. So the nature of the problems has changed over the years, and there's less continuity on rosters, and there's more fluidity in player movement. And rather than sort of complain about that, and I know, um, you can hear like in the media a lot of people saying, "Oh man, I wish college sports was like it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is." I think we just need to embrace the fact that we get to tackle some interesting challenges with some awesome people and some great resources that they put together here at Towson to help us. And whether that's the transfer portal or competing against the CAA or anything else, we're excited to do that. So when it comes to the portal, to me, it's not so much about the player movement as it is just constantly trying to have the right people in the locker room and the right people on the roster. Like that'll never change. They could be playing college baseball 1,000 years from now, and you're still trying to get the right people in your uniform. So whatever the avenues are towards that, we're interested. We're interested in recruiting the best high school players. If there's a transfer opportunity that comes up, that fits us, we're going to go after it. If there's a junior college player that maybe slips through the cracks now, that people are more focused on the portal, we're going to be involved with him. We want all of the above to try and get the best guys in black and gold.
So all the talk in college baseball has been about how the game has changed off the field. Well, we were talking to Hartford Community College coach Josh Hauser about how offense has exploded around college baseball. So my question to you is, how has the game changed recently on the field, particularly in terms of offense?
Well, I know Josh well, and I would agree with him. It's more explosive offensively. I think it's a couple, or I would say three things come to mind for me. Number one, the guys are a lot stronger. I played college baseball 20 years ago. The guys who are run of the mill in terms of strength now would have been the strongest guys in the lineup back then. So there's been a huge change in strength training that's really progressed, and that's affected the product on the field. I would say the proliferation of TrackMan at our level and having like a TrackMan strike zone that the umpires get graded against has shrunk the zone, and that obviously advantages the hitters. And then the last thing, and I don't think this gets talked about a ton, the equipment's different. The bats are more dialed in, and the ball is absolutely bouncier. Anybody who tells you that we're playing with the same ball that we played with in 2016, 2017, I just wouldn't agree with that. The ball gets off the bat a lot hotter than it used to, and that's not just strength and the fact that guys are getting pushed into the middle of the strike zone. Like we're playing with different equipment, so the game's different.
So if offense continues to explode in college, do you ever get to a point where everyone's like, okay, we got to start using wood bats? Does that ever happen?
So wood, it has its own challenges at the college level just because there's only so much really high quality wood to go around. And so we're already in a situation with Division I where there are some haves and have-nots.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I think more standardized metal bat's a good solution. I'm a pitching guy, so I'm always going to gravitate towards like a well-played, clean game where guys are filling up the strike zone, and maybe it's 4-3 or something like that. 11-10 isn't necessarily my happy place when it comes to baseball. So if they wanted to loosen up the ball a little bit, I'd be for it. But honestly, college baseball is in a really good place overall. The interest has never been bigger. The level of play has never been higher. So I might have my own little preferences, but overall, I think we're in a good spot.
What is your relationship with Coach Tyner like? Have you talked to him obviously over the last couple months since you took the job?
Sure. I've known Matt Tyner for almost 20 years. We've worked camps together, and we've been kind of on the same coaching circuit. for this long. I think I met Matt when, gosh, I might have been like 25 years old.
Wow.
So really good guy. He's been phenomenal in the transition. He's trying to help our staff however he can. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more from an outgoing head coach, and we certainly wish him well in his retirement. I hope he gets a bunch of time fishing and can kind of take a breath. And he's been coaching for a long time, so I'm happy for him for that. And I actually, you didn't ask about this, but this is a relationship that I really cherish. Coach Gottlieb, who was here up through the 2017 season and won over 700 games here, Mike Gottlieb. I got a chance to catch up with him the other night on the phone. He's doing well out in Arizona, watching Arizona Fall League games, and is a guy that when I was a young coach always took the time to talk baseball with me. And we've had some great conversations over the years. So it was good to reconnect with him as well. So really good relationships with the people who sat in this seat before, and very appreciative of that.
How has it been getting to know all the coaches at Towson?
Well, the whole group here has been really great, really welcoming. I think this is a really healthy and thriving athletic department from our AD Steve Eigenbrot all the way down. There's a lot of coaches here that have had a bunch of success. We have a cafeteria in the building here, so I tend to eat with some of them. I eat lunch there every day, and I've gotten a chance to just chat with them and try and learn from their experience. Um, I just think uh, we're in a really good environment here from a support standpoint, and that includes the professional relationship with some of the people coaching these other sports, and in particular having success at our school. So trying to soak up as much as we can from them, but they've been great.
Have you finished filling out your coaching staff, or are you bringing guys over from UMBC? What's your staff going to look like?
Yeah, it's all the same guys. It's the in Division I baseball, you get four on-field coaches, and it's the same for myself included. So that's Phil Disher running the offense as our associate head coach, Brendan McGowan running the defense, and then Chris Kaler running the pitching staff. So those guys do a phenomenal job, and a big motivation for me in making this move was to keep that group together. Towson's been really supportive, putting those guys in a good position, and we get the chance to keep coaching together, which is what we want because it's been a good match.
How long does it take a first-year coach to put together his first roster?
So for us, it took about 2.5 weeks. Which was a little faster than I thought it would be. I think it speaks to the power of recruiting at Towson. Like, this is an attractive place to go to school. I just read that we had a record freshman class. There were a lot of players on the team, talented guys that we're looking forward to working with, that stayed here, which is unusual in a coaching change. A lot of times those guys will go in the transfer portal, but as I talked to the players that were on the roster, they just spoke so highly of the experience they were having off the field, how much they liked being a part of the athletic department, how much they liked each other. They just wanted to see what the leadership was going to be in the program and see what the plan was. And we've had some good conversations about that. But yeah, we added, I think it was 18 players to the roster in about 2.5 weeks. Some guys coming from UMBC or commits that we had, and some guys from junior college or the portal, kind of all the above.
So before we let you go, I got to ask you about your most recent draft pick, Luke Johnson. He's having a nice year in the Nationals org. Have you been following him?
Oh yeah, I'm always following Luke. Luke was a blast to coach. I've seen him pitch in pro ball. I saw him pitch every inning he threw in college, obviously. So it was really great to see him make that transition. I'm just really proud of what a professional he is. That's what you want when guys get the chance to play professional baseball from your program. You want them to go out and be ready to be a professional, and he absolutely is. He fills up the strike zone, he holds runners, he plays defense, he competes hard, he's ready to pitch, he's great in the clubhouse. I'm rooting for him to continue to get chances. And pro baseball is a tough racket. He's grinding away against some really good players, but I'm always proud of that guy. Like, I loved coaching him, and I know the guys in the Nationals organization feel the same way.
Last one I got for you, Coach. Sounds like you're obviously baseball through and through. Is there anything you're doing? Like, what might we find you doing if you're not at the baseball field?
Well, first and foremost is being with my family. I've got two girls, 12 and 9. My wife and I have been married for 17 years. So love spending time with them. I'm trying to ride my bike a little bit more, guys. We got the healthy cafeteria downstairs where I'm eating lunch, and now I'm trying to spend more time on the bike. I'm trying to maybe size down the uniform for the 2027 season. We'll see how I do. Maybe you could check in with me in the spring. But yeah, just trying to take care of myself and be around my family. Like that's really it.
All right. Thanks for jumping on with us, Liam. Usually you're with Stan and me. Today it's me and Griffin. So thank you for jumping on, and let's do this again prior to the college baseball season starting in February. Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. I'd love to, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, thanks, Liam.
Best of luck. Best of luck. Get some wins.
All right. Take care, guys.